Today I'm back with another video in my favorite series where I share drugstore and affordable products that are truly better than high-end and luxury alternatives. I usually film these videos like every few months, but since it's still the beginning of the year, there have been so many products. I have tested out dozens of them, and the products that make it into these videos are truly the best of the best. They're not just like good products, they're not even like really great products. They are products that I would pay 3, 4, 5 times the price for. But the best part is they are affordable, so you don't have to pay high-end and luxury prices for them. I do have a mix. I have a lot of makeup, I have a fragrance, some body care, some nails, all kinds of things, so let's get into it. I love a good powder. I have tried so many at this point, and I keep saying this, but it is going to come at some point. I want to do like a big powder overview, a powder ranking, especially with like warmer weather right around the corner. But I will say it's a little bit harder to find like an amazing pressed powder compared to a loose powder. I have shared so many good loose powder options over the years, and I have to say this is the first pressed powder that has impressed me for a really long time. It's from Revolution Beauty. It is their new Powder Pops Instant Blur Setting Powder. So this does come in 7 different shades if you shop on the Revolution Beauty website, but there are a few less if you're shopping at Ulta. This is a $10 powder that is honestly just more beautiful than pretty much any high-end alternative I've tried. It has a really creamy texture to it, so when you apply it to the skin, it is very soft. It creates like an instant blurred effect. I love the packaging. These are so cute. Now they're a little bit on the smaller side because they did create them to be like on the go touch-up powders. At least that's how they're marketing them. So they do come with a mirror inside, and then you get this little kind of sponge that you can use to touch up your makeup throughout the day. They are great to touch up throughout the day because not only does, this formula mattify the skin, it also provides like a touch of coverage. So if your makeup tends to wear off like around your chin, your nose, it does kind of create more of that flawless look throughout the day. But I actually use these to set my makeup, after I'm done as well, because I love the way this gives my skin a very smooth, blurred finish. It's a gorgeous kind of creamy texture, so it just goes on so nicely. It never looks powdery, and I think sometimes that is the key difference, at least for me, between loose powders and pressed powders. Sometimes loose powders have like that true powdery finish on the skin. Not all of them, but I just feel like in general, that's kind of what I think of, whereas a pressed powder typically has more of either like coverage or a creamy feel or just like a smooth finish. So in general, I feel like it really creates like that perfected makeup look, and that is what I get from this product. I do have 2 different shades. I mainly wear the shade Lace. This one kind of blends right into my skin. I feel like this is great for setting my concealer or, really anywhere on my face because it matches my skin tone really, really well. I had originally tried the shade Translucent, but this is super brightening. It doesn't come off completely translucent. So I would say if you have a deeper skin tone or you don't want like a super bright under eye, to maybe go with a darker shade. They do have like a pink, they have a peach, a banana shade. So there are some great options to choose from. But on days where I like finish my makeup and I feel like I could use a touch of brightness under the eyes, this is perfect because it adds kind of like a highlighted effect without using an actual highlighter. So I absolutely love these. Like I said, they are on the smaller side. I haven't really compared them to other pressed powders in my collection and broken them down like price per gram, but I will say that might be something to take into account if you use up your products fully. Sometimes, powders especially can come with a little bit less product, so it might make more sense for you to go with another alternative, but for me, a little bit of this product goes a long way because it is such a creamy formula, so I don't anticipate that I'll actually run through it super quickly because I'm not using it all over my entire face. But I really wanted to share this with you because, again, sometimes it can be hard to find like a really beautiful pressed powder. If you have any other recommendations, please let me know. Revolution Beauty also recently launched these blur lip shapers. I think I talked about these fairly recently, but they had to make it into today's video because these instantly impressed me. I saw some people saying that these are a really good alternative, a dupe for Rhode's lip pencils. I can't say for sure because I haven't tried those, but if you have, let me know how you think these compare if you've tried these as well. These retail for $8 each and they come in 8 different shades. It's basically like a blurring lip liner with a super creamy texture. You get like a nice soft focused effect. And I would say it's buildable. So you can go in with a very small amount, blend it in, or gradually build it up, which is great. When I say creamy, I mean creamy. Like when you swatch this on your hand, it basically rubs right away. So the first time I swatched it, I was like, that is just not going to work. But honestly, it performs a little bit differently on the lips. If you apply to the lips, blend it in, and let it set for like a minute or two, it definitely stays in place a little bit better. It is not the longest lasting formula. It's not smudge proof. It's not waterproof. So it will come off throughout the day, but it's very, very comfortable. And I told you in, I think, a fairly recent video, I've really been into like a softer, creamy, almost sheer type of lip liner. I really didn't understand the point of them when I first started trying them, but now I feel like they just look more natural. They give your lips a little bit of definition without being too harsh. So I honestly feel like they are either great on their own or they pair really well with more of a sheer lip balm or a lip oil. So great for everyday wear. This formula is very, very comfortable. They have some great ingredients, peptides, hyaluronic acid, vitamin E. So my lips actually feel very soft after applying them, even though they have more of a true matte finish. These have like a little kind of bouncy silicone tip on the end that you can use to blur the product out, but you can also just use your finger and blend it in. I've really come to appreciate more of a workable formula that you can manipulate to, you know, look how you want it to look. I used to think like pigment meant quality. Like a super rich, intensely pigmented product meant higher quality, but there is definitely a place in my routine, and I know for a lot of people, for just a buildable formula that they can sheer out and create more of a natural look with, or build up to look more dramatic. And when that's the case, I feel like you just get more out of your product because you can wear it all different ways. So that is kind of the stage I'm in when it comes to makeup. I want something that I can manipulate and work for me no matter what type of look I'm doing, and this definitely falls into that category. Let's talk fragrance. What are you into this spring? I feel like every single season, I typically like to have a couple of options that are my go-to. So I always have a fruity scent, I always have a floral scent, and then something really warm. I recently tried Salted Sunset from Athena Club, and this is like the perfect mix of delicious warm notes with a touch of sweetness. I do want to say thank you to Athena Club for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Athena Club actually makes a ton of great body care essentials, and their products feel like high-end products. I mean, everything from like the texture of this lotion, the way it sinks into the skin, applies beautifully, the high quality ingredients, the elevated scents, like these are luxury quality products at affordable prices. They just recently launched their hair and body mists and their body lotions. They have a lot of amazing scents to choose from. The mist is just $16, and then the lotion and mist duo is only $26. If you love a good warm scent like me, I highly recommend Salted Sunset. This has the perfect mix of caramel, pistachio, coconut milk. First of all, the mist, the actual mist is so fine and beautiful. You can use it in your hair, on your body, on your clothes. This is really great on its own, but if you like more of a personalized scent, you can easily layer this with their other mists as well. They also have matching lotions, which I love because this can really intensify the scent and make it last even longer throughout the day. The first time I got this, I applied this, it was like mid-afternoon, and the next day when I woke up, the first thing I noticed was how intense the scent still was, and that was so many hours later. So these really do last well throughout the day. I have the Skin Perfecting Body Lotion in the same Salted Sunset scent, and it smells amazing. And what I love about this formula is it's very creamy and moisturizes my skin well, but it's not overly thick or heavy, so my skin doesn't feel sticky throughout the day. It's not greasy, but it actually gives your skin like a very beautiful glow. So such a high quality formula. Honestly, high quality fragrances and just body care as a whole can be so expensive. So I love the fact that Athena Club allows you to elevate your scent game without overspending. So like I said, Salted Sunset is a great option, but you can check out the full collection at Target or on athenaclub.com. You can also get 15% off your first purchase of $40 or more with the code Andrea on athenaclub.com at checkout. I'll put that information in the description box below, but that is a great deal because like I said, the products are already so affordable. So with the code, you really can't beat the price. So thanks again to Athena Club for sponsoring this portion of today's video. As much as I love a good eyeshadow palette, I feel like for all of 2026 so far, and probably even like the end of 2025, I've been more so into like a good cream or liquid shadow, just because it tends to be faster, very effortless, and just a little bit more forgiving on my dry eyelids. A lot of the formulas I've been reaching for are matte formulas. So typically I'll end up going in with like a shimmer or a highlighter on top. So they're not typically like a true one and done, at least for the way that I do my makeup. So when Morphe launched these duos, I knew I had to pick one up. This is the Mixed Signals Dual-Ended Cream and Liquid Shadow Stick. So there are 3 different options. I have Stealthy and Wealthy, which is actually like the bronze kind of smoky toned duo. I wasn't sure sure which one to go with because they all look beautiful, honestly, but I thought this would be like a good, like quick, easy, smoky eye for every day. So on one side, you get a liquid metallic shadow. Now you can apply this and gently tap it in with your finger for more of an intense look, and you can definitely layer it up, but typically I really love to sheer it out with like a fluffy brush and then just blend it up into my crease. It does soften up quite a bit, which is nice. And then what I'll do is like flip the product over and use the metallic cream on the other side to really brighten up the lid and then line my waterline. And I have a complete look in just a few minutes. So I like that it gives a little bit of like a smoky eye in just a few minutes. Today I took like a little bit of black eyeshadow and used it to line my eyes, and I feel like I get a little bit of drama. What's nice about this formula is it does stay in place really, really well. I don't deal with any creasing. And again, it is more forgiving. I will say I messed up one of the eyes today because I got mascara all over and then I had to go in and remove it. But typically I get like a very seamless, smooth look out of this. This is maybe slightly more expensive than some of the other liquid shadows at the drugstore, but again, it's a 2-in-1. So you do get the liquid metallic, but then you also get the eyeshadow crayon on the other side. So you can use them separately together, and then you can also use the crayon as eyeliner, which is what I have in my waterline, and it stays in place really, really well. So definitely recommend these if you were eyeing them. One more product from Morphe. I actually bought this hoping it would be a dupe for the One Size setting spray. That is my favorite setting spray of all time, but it's pretty expensive. I have not found a drugstore alternative at this point. I know L'Oreal makes one that a lot of people said is a great dupe, but L'Oreal isn't cruelty-free, so I haven't tried it. I decided to pick this one up. It is the Lifeproof Continuous Setting Mist. Now this retails for $20, so it's still a little bit more expensive than a typical drugstore setting spray, but compared to the One Size, this one is $7 an ounce, and One Size is $10 an ounce. So there is a savings there. Now I will say this is not an exact dupe, but in my mind, it's a really good alternative. So they describe this one as a 16-hour wear, waterproof, sweat-proof, and transfer-resistant spray. It is alcohol-free and it has a microfine mist. What's interesting about this one is it feels very wet on the skin. And because it comes in like this aerosol type of packaging, I honestly just thought it was going to be like instantly dry like the One Size one. So the first time I sprayed my face and it was soaking wet, I was like, oh, this is, I was confused. But I will say, once it dries, my skin does not look wet or glowy or greasy. So the actual effect is the same as the One Size setting spray. And I do find that it locks my makeup into place really well. If I'm being super picky, by the end of the day, it's probably locked in place a little bit better with the One Size one, but I feel like this is a really good alternative, other than the fact that the actual application method feels very different. It only takes a few seconds to dry, and if you see my before and after clip, my skin doesn't look much different in the before and after, and that's kind of what I want. If I don't want a glowy, dewy, hydrating setting spray, I basically don't want my makeup to change. I just want it locked in place, and that's when I reach for One Size. So I've actually been using this one in place of One Size for the last few weeks, or ever since it launched. I mean, I think I picked this up a few weeks ago, and it does a great job. The only thing about this is if I use too much, I feel like I kind of have like a little bit of tightness to my skin just for like the initial 30 minutes this is on, and then it feels fine. So it's almost like I can feel like a mask of setting spray initially. So the key to this product to me is like a light layer, give it a second, and then spray like a second light layer. You don't have to overspray this. Like sometimes with the One Size, I feel like I over apply it because you can't feel it on the skin. So I almost feel like I'll go through this more slowly than the One Size because I can actually feel how much I'm applying. So I've really been loving this. I don't think it is an identical dupe, but I do think it is a really great alternative if you're looking for a super fine mist to set your makeup into place that doesn't leave you looking glowy or dewy or greasy. This is not a brand new launch, but they seem to be a little bit more accessible these days. So I think they're kind of making their way into additional retailers, more stores. So I wanted to mention these in case you haven't tried them. These are from the brand Vitamasques, and they are called the Lip Butter Balms. So these are probably the most affordable like squeeze tube lip balm that kind of resembles the Summer Fridays formula that I've personally tried. If you go to the Vitamasques website, they have 8 different scents, but they're not all available at every single retailer. So I'll link the ones that I can find in the description box box below. So these are, of course, cruelty-free. They're made in Korea. The formula is beautiful, very soft, very smooth, really, really moisturizing. I'm wearing this one today. This one is in the shade Cocoa Sugar. I have like a mix of lipstick underneath, but the shiny finish is from this product. These smell really, really good. They're very comfortable, not sticky at all. Just a really good alternative to summer Fridays. And again, there are so many other alternatives at this point, but I feel like most of them are right around $10. So it's amazing having an option for $5. These also have some great ingredients, which is why they feel so moisturizing on the lips. They have a hyaluronic complex, peptides, and then there's a blend of cocoa, shea, mango seed butters, squalane, and vitamin C. Again, a high-end formula at an affordable price. Like these are one of the most affordable lip balms on the market right now. They do tend to lean more in the sheer direction, but I feel like that is kind of the case with a lot of lip balms. I typically do pair them with a lip liner or like a lip stain if I want more impact, but they're also great on their own. Actually, I wore this one yesterday with the next product I want to mention. This is from Essence. It's the Line and Stain Tattoo Lip Liner. So every time I say that I just don't like a certain type of product, I feel like I have to eat my words because like over the next few months, I end up falling in love with that type of product. And for me, it's like a marker lip liner pen. I'm pretty sure at like the end of 2025, I was like, I'm just not even going to try any more of these because I don't like the way they apply. I much prefer like a watery lip stain. And then I tried a couple of formulas I actually ended up loving. I think this is my absolute favorite out of any that I've tried. So first of all, it is affordable. It's $4.97. It comes in 3 different shades. I actually don't think this is available on Ulta's website, but I did find it at Walmart if you're interested in grabbing it. I only have one, but I do plan on picking up the other shades. This one is called Everyone's Nude Pink. So the nice part about this is it is super saturated. That is my biggest complaint with other lip liner markers. It's the fact that they just dry out very quickly, or when you get them, they don't even feel like they apply nicely in the first place. Like they feel like they come dried out. Whereas this one is so saturated that like the second you touch it to your lips, you have a ton of color, a ton of pigment. So it is a very rich, intense lip liner. Just keep that in mind if you tend to go for something a little lighter, a little softer. It's a pretty thick marker, but it does come to a very pointed tip. So if you just want to like really truly line your lips with a very thin line, you can absolutely achieve that, but you can also just flip it on its side and completely fill in your lips in like 2 seconds. I actually wore this yesterday. I think I did my makeup at 8 a.m. and I had to run like a bunch of errands. I went to lunch with my husband. I came home, brushed my teeth, flossed because then I went to the dentist. So I sat through like a dental cleaning. I went to a coffee shop and then I picked my kids up from school. We had dinner. I got home, like I've eventually washed my face and it was probably like, I want to say around 6, so like 10 hours later, and I still had color on my lips. It was not perfect at this point, like it had faded, but to make it through all of that and just like a full day of wear, to me is really impressive. Even when brands claim to be like 10-hour wear, 12-hour wear, if I'm constantly doing a lot, especially with lip products, like eating, drinking, talking, getting my teeth cleaned, like typically I just don't expect them to last like that, but this product really did. And I love pairing it with the Vitamasques lip balm in Cocoa Sugar. I feel like it's the perfect combo. The only downside is that there are only 3 shades. So hopefully they end up coming out with more because this is like the best option I've tried. Okay, so there's a new brand at Walmart called Nude by Nature. I believe they originated in Australia and now they made their way to the US. I picked up a bunch of products. I haven't tried them all out yet, but I did try this one, so I wanted to mention it in today's video. This is called the Lacquer Lip Serum and I got the shade Mocha Glow. This is so beautiful. This comes in 6 different shades. This is a really, really good alternative to the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum. I love that product. It's actually, it was like a favorite of mine for a while. And at this point, I do still really enjoy it. I sometimes wear it, but that one is more of like a melty lip balm. Not a melty lip balm. It's like a lip gloss lip balm hybrid. I don't know how to fully describe it. Whereas this one feels like a glossy balm. This one feels more refined in my opinion. It's a little bit thinner. It doesn't feel like you can over apply this. Whereas with the Makeup by Mario formula, if you apply too much, it gets like kind of thick. And I always use the word gloopy, which I don't think is a real word, but like that's how I feel about that product. Like it's easy to go too far with it. Whereas this one just applies beautifully. It's very thin, but it also gives you such a gorgeous glossy finish, and it's buildable. You can go in with a little bit, you can layer it up. It's so comfortable, very smooth on the lips. And again, I don't know the exact ingredient breakdown because I don't think they listed them when I looked on Walmart's website, but it has to have some really nourishing ingredients because my lips feel really good while it's on, but also once it wears off. This is such an easy, effortless product. Like, it's the kind of product you just want to throw in your purse, bring with you on the go. So I will absolutely pick up more shades of this, and I'm excited to try other products from the line. If you have any recommendations, you'll have to let me know. I don't know if I have a lot of Australian viewers, but if you are from Australia or you're familiar with the line, I would love to hear what you recommend. I should have mentioned these when I was talking about the Morphe liquid eyeshadow, but another formula I've been reaching for quite a bit is this one from e.l.f. I think these came out at the very beginning of the year, so they're still somewhat newer, just not as new as the Morphe formula. These are the liquid velvet eyeshadows. So originally I picked up 2 shades, and those are still the only 2 I have because I honestly feel like these kind of cover whatever type of look I'm going for, but they do have other options as well. There are 7 shades total. They're mostly neutrals in like some variation of beige, rosy, or brown tones, but this is like a true matte formula. So for me, it's great all over the lid, blended into the crease, and then typically I'll finish up with like a shimmer all over the lid. These are thin, so they blend out nicely, but they're also very, very smooth on the eyes. Like, if I'm in a hurry and I don't have more than like a few minutes, but I still feel like I need something on my eyes, these are perfect. They also stay in place really well, and there's no creasing or fading throughout the day. My camera cut out, so I can't remember exactly what I was saying, but basically, if you like a good liquid matte shadow, something that blends out very, very quickly, that really doesn't take a lot of effort, these are great. I was actually in the process of pulling out all of my like favorite one and done shadows, liquid shadows, cream shadows to film a video, and I completely forgot about it until just now. So I promise I will film that video in April. I'm a press-on nail fan. I've been wearing press-on nails for years and years at this point, and I love the fact that you can just kind of switch out your nails very easily. I love doing my nails. I'll typically do them like after the kids go to bed at night. I'll put on a show and just relax. And I think for me, it's what other people feel like when they go and get their nails done. Like, that is their me time. It is their appointment where no one can bother them. But personally, I don't love having like that extra added appointment on my calendar. I'd rather do it like at home, relaxing, like drinking a fun drink, that kind of thing. So anyway, all of that being said, the nail brand I was using for years was Static Nails, which I love those. I still have some of those, but I think they went up in price. I typically do buy them like when they have a sale and kind of stock up. But I think last year at some point I was like, let me try some other alternatives. A lot of you left recommendations for me, and there are so many good nail brands at the drugstore. I'm a big fan of Olive and June. They have a ton of cute styles. I wear those all the time. But recently I tried this brand Digi by Glamnetic. So Glamnetic has like a regular line they sell at Ulta and Sephora. It's a little bit more expensive. These are $10 each. So I think this is technically like their sister brand, and they sell them at Walmart. They have the cutest designs. Normally I'm all about neutral nails. I don't switch it up too much, but lately I've kind of been feeling just like fun nails overall, and I love their style. So this one is Digits. I haven't worn these yet. I almost put these ones on. We're going on vacation, so I thought these would be fun. These are called Sunny Tips. They have like a yellow tip and then some cute pink flowers on them, but they also have some more kind of toned down styles. This one is Lumi. This is more like of my typical style, just like a pretty pink, or if you like a regular French, they have that as well. So I love this brand. These feel just like Glamnetic's typical nails. Like, if you've tried that brand, I honestly can't tell a difference, except for the fact that I feel like Glamnetic's nails are sometimes a little bit too curved for me because I do have pretty flat nail beds, and these actually went on a little bit easier. So I don't know if they are any different or if they are like the same exact nail, just branded differently, but I'm telling you, for $10, like, these feel like a steal. They last extremely well. They look great. And I actually tried their nail glue before I even tried their nails, and that's what convinced me to try the nails, because this nail glue locks my nails in place for 2 weeks. And then at the end of 2 weeks, they're even a little bit difficult to remove. What usually happens is I'll end up losing like a couple of nails at like that 2-week mark. And before that, I'll usually just glue them back on, but I like to switch them after 2 weeks because then they kind of start to grow out and maybe look a little bit rough, although these have held up really, really well. But I swear this nail glue locks them in so well. This is the brush-on one. I just repurchased it. So I'll usually apply it to my nail, like my nail, and then I'll apply it to the back of the press-on nail, hold it together, and I don't even have to hold it that long, and they are locked on. So even if you're not looking for like a new press-on nail style, I do recommend their brush-on glue. It's really, really great. So I'm really glad I found those. And if you have any other press-on nail recommendations, please let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked this video, I have an entire series like this on my channel. So I'll link it for you on the screen and in the description box below, along with everything that I talked about in today's video. Thanks again to Athena Club for sponsoring a portion of today's video. Don't forget to check out their full line at Target, or you can get 15% off your first purchase of $40 or more using my code Andrea at checkout on athenaclub.com. But thanks again for being here. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye.